So one of the key features that a lot of people have been emailing me and asking me is that, I have a Word document, my manuscript is in Word document, can I not just convert it into a MOBI file or an EPUB file? Okay, so this video is going to show you how to do that. I've just added this feature into the Ultimate eBook Creator, and I'm going to show you right now how you can do that. Okay, so we'll go to Tools, and then we'll select this Convert MS Word to option. Okay, and then you get this great big dialog box. It looks a little bit frightening, but don't worry, it's pretty simple, and I'm going to explain exactly what each of these features are, and as you'll see, it's fairly simple to use. So the first thing you need to do is select your Word document. Okay, so we click on this button here, and what we're going to do is we are going to go to I have just temporarily. Okay, so we have a couple of documents here, and I just want to pick the simplest, the smallest one right now, and I'll click open. Okay, so what happens is that the Ultimate eBook Creator opens the document and reads some of the attributes which are present inside the document. So there's two main attributes. We have the summary attributes, and then we have the custom attributes. Okay, now in the summary attributes we have a lot of attributes here, but I'm just going to highlight the main attributes, and these attributes are really important because they will become the metadata when we output to EPUB or MOBI. So these are required fields. Okay, so the ones that we want to focus on is the author. Okay, so make sure the author is filled out, and make sure the other one is the comments. This is the other one. Now the comments is basically the same as the comments that you would type into this area here of the book description. So we've got the title, the book description, the author, publisher, keywords, etc., etc. So here we've got the author, then we've got the comments, which is the description. So make sure that's filled out. If it's not filled out, basically you can simply double click, and then you can type in your comments here. Okay, the other one is title. So if we go down to title, you'll see that the title is here, right? So this is where we put the title. So those are the three main attributes of the summary, and over here we have custom attributes. Okay, so by default UEC adds two attributes for you. One is the editor and one is the publisher. Okay, so make sure that we have these filled out, and let me just show you what it looks like if you open a document without these attributes. So UEC guide. Okay, so this is one of my guides. Alright, so as you can see in my Word document I don't have the author filled out, so of course I would double click and I would just type in my author name, and then same for comments. I would put some description here, etc., etc. Okay, so you get the idea. Now another thing to note, and the title as well, so I'll just say UEC guide. Okay, now another thing to note is that these attributes that we are modifying here will not be saved back into the Word document. Okay, this is the Word document being loaded into memory, and the UEC reads all this information. If you make a change, it's only local, it doesn't affect this. If you want to make the change here, then obviously you'll have to load this document back up into your Word processor, and then you need to update the properties that way. Okay, and the same thing here. So we can double click, we can say Nitin, publisher again, I'll just say Nitin. Okay, so once we've filled out this meta information, we have now 3 choices. Okay, so we can output this document as a MOBI file, as an EPUB file, or we can output it as a PDF, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to output it as a MOBI file so I can show you exactly what I mean. Okay, and so I'm going to output as a MOBI file. It's going to output to the same directory. So by default, what I do is I create the same file but with a MOBI extension. Now if you don't like that, you can always change the name, or you can click on this button and select, like you can type in a different name if you want to. And the save options, by default I have them all checked on. If you're not too sure, just leave them checked on. It's fairly advanced feature of creating a good quality output, but most of the time I have these checked on. So once we've got this we'll just simply click on convert, and it's going to go ahead and do the conversion for you straight into a MOBI file. And there you go. Now as soon as I click OK, what's going to happen is it's going to bring up the Windows file Explorer, and it's going to take you right to your file. Okay, so right now, because I had this in dtemp, dtemp folder, it took me to the dtemp folder. Okay, now once again, if I double click this, I can bring that into the Kindle desktop reader, and all this I've covered. All this I don't want to really talk too much about the Kindle desktop reader. I've covered all this, where to get this from and how to install it and all that in a previous video. So we go to the table of contents, we see the introduction, we see the guide. So the navigation is all working, right? And then if we go to the there you go. So we've got the TOC going here. We can click to any link and go to the page. So it did render the MOBI file correctly. And the next one is, let's go ahead and we'll render an EPUB file. Okay, so notice what happens when I do EPUB. This extension automatically changes, so you don't have to worry too much about doing this, and I'll say convert. Okay, so done, it's converted, and here's my MOBI file. Now I'm using Adobe Digital Editions to actually view my MOBI file. Sorry, I should say EPUB file. And here is my EPUB file, and here is my table of contents. Okay, I can click on tools, it goes to tools, and this is a drill down, so I can see my articles database. So as you can see, it did render the file correctly and in EPUB format. Okay, and the last one of course is going to be PDF. So let's generate the PDF. So I think this is a fairly decent feature to have. This is really good. I think a lot of you guys are going to be really happy with this, because I certainly am, and my wife is really happy. That's one of the main reasons I built this. So if I just take it down to 25, so you can see, so here we've got the table of contents going here, and then we've got the rest of the file. Okay. Alright, so that's basically it. I hope you found the video helpful, and I hope you find this tool helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.